military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the
Hello, you guys. This is Politic Ground. Thank you guys for coming in. Shouts out to Narendra. Shouts out to Art of War. Shouts out to Nanya. Shouts out to Paul. Yes. Shouts out to everybody in the live. Shouts out to Cross Fam. And I want to make sure we get things correct in this platform. I'm going to read the rules, okay? Shouts out to Narendra. Rules of the forum. No personal comments or remarks will be tolerated. No spamming. Be respectful and civil. All views are welcome, but be factual in your arguments. Do not spam nor troll. And shouts out to Hassan. Thank you guys for coming in. If you do not like what you hear, you can leave. But thank you guys for coming in. And the question is, will President Trump
ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so he's trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So,
Hello, you guys. This is Politic Grim. If you can hear me, press 1. If you can hear me, press 1. If you can hear me, press 1. This is Politic Graham. Yes, you can hear me. If you can hear me, press 1. Can you hear me? Press 1. If you can hear me, press 1. If you can hear me, press 1. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. If you can hear me, press 1. You can hear me? Yes. Can you hear me? Press 1. Oh, thank you, thank you. Hello, you guys. My apologies. We literally we're having a storm here in the south part of America. Yes, there is tornadoes coming. Yes, I cannot make this up. Okay. And this is telling you guys, I am still coming in. I'm not giving up on this channel, right? We're moving forward, right? So yes, right. I'm not making this up. Shout out to Decent Guys. Shout out to Narendra. Shout out to Hassan. I cannot make this up. I am in Georgia, and the location that I'm in, we are supposed to be having a storm and storm later on tonight, as well as tornadoes. But I had to make sure I do some live and content today because of everything that has been going on in the world in the last 24 hours. And thank you guys for coming in. I am rebooting everything, but I'm going to just wing it, as they say. Basically, what's been going on here in the US of A, Donald Trump today signed an executive order, and that is the question today. Is the president, or should I say, will the president save you and save us in this world? Okay. And why do I say that? Because of an executive order that he signed, okay, known as the Act of 1798, which is a rarely used wartime law that could cause removals with little due process. And why did Donald Trump sign this? He signed this executive order to do an immediate deportation of Venezuelan gang members under this Act of 1798. Okay. Now, you cannot make this up. This was one of the reasons the Democrats were very hesitant on signing the Spending Act. Okay, because yes, there was a spending bill that was passed yesterday. It was passed finally by the House of Senate yesterday, just hours prior to a shutdown. Okay, and the Democrats, they were very nervous about, moving forward and signing this bill. But some Democrats, such as Senator Chuck Schumer, they felt they did not have a choice but to sign this spending bill. Otherwise, the federal government itself would have been in a shutdown, okay? An immediate shutdown. Yes, Narendra says that does Atlanta fall in Tornado Alley? No, the thing is, the part of Atlanta that I live in the real Atlanta, okay? So it's not metro, it's not in the suburbs, it's right downtown. So when you live in areas such as that, that is why it costs a lot. It's very expensive where I live, okay? I'm just putting it out. I'm being just very blunt, right? Because we don't have, quote unquote, really heavy tornadoes, but we do have storms. And in certain parts we might get tornadoes, but the areas that do get tornadoes, how are we affected in the city of Atlanta? just like what has happened. Like my lights was just blinking. It literally, like everybody lights in the area just blinked. The whole street, it did a quick like blink and then it rebooted. So that is what happens. Okay. Now I will say this. Okay. The news is stating on my end that we are looking at hail. We are looking at heavy storm as far as rain, hail goes here in the city of Atlanta. However, farther out, like I stated, it will be tornadoes that are to come. So thank you guys for coming in. My apologies. Shout out to Narendra for asking that question. Shout out to Hassan. Art of War says, "Hey, news lady." Randy, thank you for coming in, Randy. Randy says, "Trust Trump." And thank you guys for coming in. My apologies. Yes, there is supposed to be a storm coming my way. Coming my way. But I wanted to actually talk about a few things, maybe two things, one or two things, because it's like it's really, really, let's just say the storm is coming. But I'm going to do a live by any means necessary. Now, like I stated, the Trump administration this Saturday, today, okay, published an executive order to deport Venezuelan gang members under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Okay, and this is a rarely used wartime law that could allow removals with little due process. Now, you cannot make this up. Right after Donald Trump signed this executive order, okay, that I'm going to call just the Act of 1798, roughly right after he had this executive order signed, you cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. According to the reports, there were two flights of undocumented immigrants that are with these gang members. Okay, I'll say it that way. They were heading to Venezuela. I cannot make this up. They were being deported back to Venezuela. However, a judge by the name of Judge Boasberg, okay, a federal judge of Washington, D.C., he abruptly issued a temporary order to block this executive order, okay, in regards to deporting immigrants under this Act of 1798. Okay, and because he put a pause on this order, that is when these planes had to do a turnaround. Yes, you cannot make this up. And thank you guys for coming in. And this was all done today. This is one of the reasons the Democrats, I can hear them now. This is one of the reasons the Democrats were kind of skeptical on signing that spending bill yesterday. And yes, that is another thing that transpired. House of Senate did pass the spending bill, which is to extend federal funding until September. Yes. So because of that, yes, you cannot make this up. Within 24 hours of House of Senate approving this spending bill, that is when our Donald Trump, the Trump administration, used that and signed an executive order known as Act of 1798. And thank you guys for coming in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And you are listening to Politic Graham. And my apologies for the quick live. We had an issue, but like I said, the lights went out. Now, lights went out. Literally here in Georgia, we are going through a possible storm. Okay. Now, just like I stated, when it comes down to this act, people are wondering, was this fair? Was this fair? What Trump administration, Donald Trump had signed, okay, known as the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which I just call in short Act of 1798. which is used to deport any non-citizens in the United States of custody. Now, under this act, the judge, a federal judge, he put a pause on this act that was imposed today on Saturday, March the 15th. Okay, he abruptly put a halt on this act because, quote unquote, it appeared that this decision was made abruptly without any just cause. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Yes, shouts out to Art of War. Shouts out to Hassan. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Taylor says, what part of Georgia are you from? I am from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, the real Atlanta, Georgia. And Atlanta, Georgia is a very, very political top. But I do have some news, but I do not want to share it today. Okay, and I have been looking on multiple platforms, and nobody knows this news. Okay, I'm not gonna say just what it is, but yes, it is. It is in regards to our president Donald Trump. Yes, it is in regards to our president, Donald Trump. I do have some news. I will not give that news, and I promise you it is some real news, okay? But there is some breaking news coming up in regards to that here in Atlanta. Atlanta is a very historical, political place, okay? And some people use those preconceived notions that this is the quote unquote Black Hollywood. It is, but it really is not. I will say it that way, okay? It is, but it's not. Because this is the same city here in Atlanta where, if you guys can remember, that Kamala Harris as well as Donald Trump held rallies, okay? During the time they were actually running for president, okay? So this is a very, very special place. I'll say it that way. And thank you guys for coming in. Shout out to Lee. Lee says just out. Lee says just out. Federal spending up 6 billion compared to the last February. Market crashing and firing people illegally, but having judge order to give back. Go make America great again. Then shout out to Leo. Now that was petty. Make America great again. Now, and thank you guys for coming in. Bashir says, sorry for Big Brother America. This time around, America is going the wrong way. And thank you guys for coming in. We do welcome everybody. Like I said, this is a place that welcomes everybody, no matter what party you are, no matter what gender you are, no matter what country you're from. But we welcome everybody. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button. Yes, please, Bashiru, please explain. And Kev Nish, thank you for coming in. Kev Nish for showing the support. Thank you for coming in. Blanco says, Trump says every immigrant are gangs, just like the new case in the news today. Now, some people will state that Trump is being a little unfair. Okay, some people will state that, right? And I do see a lot of people in the comments talking on that. Now, before I start, please hit that like button. We're gonna have a brief break. I gotta get my little stuff together. We have to have a brief break. This is Politic Graham. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Basharu, shout out to Taylor, shout out to Kev Nish, shout out to Art of War, shout out to Decent Guy, shout out to Hassan. Thank you guys for coming in. Everybody that is in the live, Narendra, I just saw it. Shout out to Narendra, I just saw it. Oh my goodness. It is so crazy. I promise you guys, I cannot make this up. When the lights went out, like, like literally I had a system, and it's like now I'm rebooting everything, and the only thing that I'm looking at as far as the chat is this phone. But I was looking on another screen, but it had went out. So please be patient with me. I'm just now reading the comments. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Narendra. Jesus, help us all. Help me. But thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for being so patient with me. Art of War says, please don't forget to like. Yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. She doesn't forget. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, shout out to Art of War. Thank you guys for coming in. Lieutenant Beefheart says Trump is, oh boy, they warned us about. Shout out to Lieutenant. Okay. Now I will say this, okay? This whole political scheme, I will say it on that note, okay, both Democrat side as well as Republican, it had been a mess, okay? It had been a mess. And we needed someone to come in to have some type of, sound, okay, some type of noise, okay? Because too many politicians have been quiet, okay, and not been active, okay? I'm just going to be very blunt, okay? We need more active politicians. I'm serious. We need more vocal politicians to be the voice. This is why people voted them in, to be your House of Representatives, to be your House of Senate. Now, let's just call it for what it is, right? Just like every last one of you guys in this chat, you guys are a voice, right? I just wish we had that same energy. I just wish we had that same energy when it comes down to our House of Representatives, when it comes down to our House of Senate, okay? Because even when it comes down to the actual spending bill that was passed yesterday on March the 14th, right? We were so close, ladies and gentlemen, for a shutdown. We were really, really close. We already have had a number of layoffs when it comes down to the federal government. We already have a number individuals, okay, are affected, right? And what is it that the Democrats do? I gotta call it for what it is. What is it that the Democrats do? They wait the last minute, okay, to be forced to make a decision to save the country. And I'm just being honest, because had not that spending bill been signed and approved and passed yesterday, okay, we would have been in an official government shutdown, right? And for you guys, for any of those people that's questioning the actions of Donald Trump, if you think you're seeing something now, just imagine if there would have been a real government shutdown. I'm just being honest. I'm just calling it for what it is. Okay? I'm just being straight up. Now, if you're just coming in, this is Politic Graham. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And we will have a brief break. I promise I'm coming back in less than 5 minutes. I'm trying to get my things together. Okay? But the question is, and I hope you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see it on your end. Yes, I'm getting the screen up. Now, the question is, will President Trump save America? Yes, 51% says yes, President Donald Trump will save America. And 49% says no, President Trump will not save America. And thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Shouts out to Leah. And that's why I want people to understand this. I welcome everybody, okay? So don't feel as if this is a quote-unquote pro-Trump channel, okay? This is not a pro-Trump channel. This is a channel where we speak facts. We speak our own truths, okay? And we do it respectfully, no matter what party you're on, okay? No matter what gender you are, no matter what country you come from. So please be respectful amongst yourselves and amongst each other. Okay, because it makes no sense to continue to be disrespectful just because somebody has a different view when it comes down to ideologies, when it comes down to politics. Okay, so it makes no sense, right? That is the main reason We're in the position that we are in right now. And what do I mean what we're in right now? Okay? I'm standing on this until we are no longer in a deficit here in America. Okay? If the Democrats and Republicans would have been working together and being the voice, okay, for the citizens here of America, okay, we would not be in this position from the jump. I'm calling it for what it is. And thank you guys for coming in. We will have a temporary commercial break. Shout out to Narendra and shout out to everybody in the live. I will be back in less than 5 minutes. I'm getting my things together. Okay. And yes, we're talking about it, right? Because breaking news, there has been an executive order signed by Donald Trump today, Saturday. You cannot make this up. And no, Aaron, I'm not, what are you saying about the violent left? Okay. I am just speaking breaking news. Okay. Breaking news. And thank you guys for coming in. Like I stated, we're going to have a quick commercial break.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, And then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second.
Sort of ridiculous EB-5 program. We're going to end the EB-5 program. We're going to replace it with the Trump
security.
Gold Card.
Whatever it takes to get border security, I will do it.
The president's been clear. He wants peace. And so is trying to weaken our economy.
Build in America.
We gave you military equipment.
So, and then, where's the money being?
Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm just gonna have to just quote unquote. Thank you, Jesus. I am running on my phone right now because there's a lot going on my end. The lights have blanked out again. Okay, but if you guys can still hear me, okay, let me know. Press 1. If you can still hear me. Now, when it comes down to Aaron, thank you for coming in, Aaron. Aaron says Trump hasn't fired a single teacher. Now, I will state this when it comes down to, now I'm hearing thundering. I will say this when it comes down to he hasn't fired a quote unquote single teacher, right? It has affected the Department of Education. Okay. And how has it affected the Department of Education? Remember, he dismantled the Department of Education altogether. Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, press 1. If you guys can hear me, press 1. If you can hear me, press 1. Press 1 if you can hear me. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. If you can hear me, press 1. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. If you can hear me, press 1. And shout out to John. John, thank you for coming in. John says they don't care about jobs being shipped to Mexico and China though, because they love cheap stuff off the backs of slave laborers. And thank you guys for coming in. Hit the like. Thank you. I'm glad you guys can still hear me. Oh my goodness. You know what? If you guys know what I'm going through right now, I don't know. I don't know a lot of content creators that would be still doing a live right now, but I'm gonna make it fast to get my point across. Okay, because I hear it is thundering. I hear thunder outside, and the lights have blinked again. I cannot turn any other devices on right now because no, I can't do it. I can't do it. So thank you guys for coming in. Now I will say this. When it comes down to the things that have been transpiring these past 2 days, that still, in my opinion, still shows the division that is going on here in America when it comes down to between Democrats as well as Republicans. Yes, there still is a division, right? And for those who are just coming in, even when it comes down to the foreign minister of Canada herself, Melanie July, she has stated that the American leadership, okay, is in division. She sees that, okay, all the way from Canada. She can tell that we still have a long way to go. Now, why do I say that? Because even when it comes down to, I feel that the Americans should not be put in a corner in the sense that yesterday, within mere hours, the House of Senate finally approved a bill. In my opinion, that should have been approved days prior. Okay, that should have been approved days prior. And the bill that I'm talking about, I'm going to break it down. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in, and please be patient with me. It's only so much I can work with right now. It's only so much I can work with right now. But the bill that was passed, the vote was 54 to 46, okay, in regards to a spending bill that was passed to extend all the way until September, quote unquote September. And thank you guys for coming in. And like I said, this bill will last until September. And under the bill, okay, $13 billion from previous year will be cut from non-defense spending, and this bill will raise the defense defense spending by $6 billion. And that is one of the reasons the Democrats were kind of upset as far as this spending goes, okay, and the cutting goes, because it's like when you're cutting, yes, you're cutting non-defense just to quote unquote from them outside looking in to raise the defense. Why is this playing an impact? Because just like a lot of people have been stating this, right? A number of people have been affected. Even people who voted for Trump, who work for the federal government were laid off. Some of them, not all of them, right? They were laid off. And when it comes down to teachers, shouts out to Aaron. I have to call it for what it is, Aaron. When it comes down to teachers, yes, they have been affected as well. Okay. They have been affected when it comes down to the dismantling of the Department of Education. But just like I also stated as well, this is why we voted for House of Representatives, House of Senate, as well as a local government. It is time, and I'm glad that the government is being pushed back to the states, okay, when it comes down to responsibility. Because what is the point of having a House of Representatives, a House of Senate, a mayor, a city council, a governor? What is the point of having these entities in if you are putting all of the responsibilities to Washington, D.C.? It makes no sense. How are you going to be heard? Okay, so that is where I stand. That is my view on it. Now, like I stated earlier, this bill that was passed by House of Senate Friday, March the 14th, okay, yes, it was to cut $13 billion of non-defense spending and to raise defense spending by $6 billion. Okay. Now I will say this. Yes, my personal view on this, you guys can tell me, how do you feel? My personal view on this whole spectrum is that our military needs to be stronger. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it needs to be stronger, and the funding needs to be provided. Now when it comes down to just the military, I will say this, okay, there needs to be funding in regards to veterans as well, because what good is it you're raising the defense by $6 billion, okay? How are you setting the soldiers when they come back to America, when they become civilians again? How are you preparing them, okay, to become civilians again? So from that aspect, I can, say, okay, maybe we can relook at some things, okay, rearrange some things. And Jojo, what type of name do you have? I see you trying to be funny, Jojo. I see you trying to be funny, Jojo. And see, these are the type of comments, I wish we could have a better open mind with things, because people are so ignorant. It is beyond me. It is really beyond me. And it gets to a point where you get blinded. Are you ignorant, or is there some stupidity before that middle line of just ignorant? I just want to know. I'm really trying to figure that out, right? Because here I am, and here is the Trump administration. The Trump administration is showing you what is going on in the world, right? Showing you. And then here I am, I'm giving the news, I'm giving the breaking news, and then I have somebody ignorant. I don't know if they're ignorant, if they're stupid, I don't know what it is, what's going on, right? In the chat, you want to be disrespectful to people in the chat, then you want to be disrespectful on the platform altogether. Why? Because I'm telling the news, I'm being a voice. What's going on? What is really going on? Then to top it all off, I even said myself, okay, I live in the state of Georgia where there is tornado advisory, and in the area that I'm living in, there is thundering at the I hear thundering now. And to top it all off, who else do you know will still do a live right now? Why? Because I love my channel. I love my subscribers. I have respect for the movement, and the movement is to be a voice. Be a voice for those who feel like they are not heard. And that is why I did this live. That is why I stand on keeping this channel up. Right? Now, this is for people who want to question, what party I am. I'm not going to say, I'm pro Republican, I'm pro Democrat. I'm not going to do that, because I have said this time and time again. If you have been on this platform before, right, you will know I will call both the Democrats out. I will call Donald Trump out and the Republicans out. And shout out, I don't know if Duffy is still here listening, but I will say this: there was an actual person that reached out to me in the chat, and shout out to Narendra. They know what it is. Duffy asked me, what are 3 dislikes and 3 likes that you have for the Trump administration? And I was very straight up. Very straight up. Right? Because I stand on the fact that, and Aaron, I'm going to say this: when it comes down to you saying I'm a Democrat, I'm not going to go there. I'm not. If I can tell that you must be new to the channel, because if I implore you, do this, go to my shorts. That will give you the answer. If I'm quote unquote all Democrat, if I'm quote unquote all Democrat. So I want people to really understand that. And thank you guys for coming in. My apologies. Reading the comments now. Steven says, may you get a gold card with your Tesla for the White House Motors. I welcome everybody. Shout out to Steven. Look, I'm a highlighted Steven, okay? I'm gonna highlight it. Main Arbor says the left doesn't use real facts, so when they get on, they need to try a different strategy to shut down logic. Aaron says you're a Democrat. Max says Canada has had high tariffs on a load of our stuff for years. It's an extremely lopsided situation. We've needed to even that playing field for years. And that is why here is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been, very transparent, very blunt when it comes down to how Canada has been moving. And when I say Canada, I'm speaking of Canada as far as on a political scheme. I am not speaking for Canadians. I will say it that way, because Canadians, in my personal opinion, okay, outside looking in, I feel that the Canadians have been disrespected by former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And it is about time that the Canadians have something new, such as the Prime Minister, Mark Carney. Okay, it is about time that they have something fresh, something new, something different. Because just though, specifically during the pandemic, in my personal view, let the Canadians down. Okay. Now, when it comes down to these tariffs that Donald Trump has applied on Canada, okay, especially at 25% steel and on 25% steel as well as aluminum, right? He did it to all of the countries, okay? He did it to everybody, right? Now, when it comes down to specifically Canada and Mexico, I've said this before, and I know people are going to get tired of me saying this, but for new people that are coming in, I'm not going to say no names that are coming into my live. I'm going to have to say it for them, okay? Because of the agreement, the USMCA agreement that was signed, okay, in Donald Trump's first term between Mexico and Canada, I do feel that Donald Trump did, not be a person of his word, because he was supposed to have a mediation communication with Mexico and Canada prior to him setting tariffs against Canada and Mexico. Now, when it comes down to these other entities, these other countries, specifically such as China, China needs to be tariff, okay? China should be tariff, in my opinion, 50%, okay? And the reason I'm stating that is because China, I'm telling you guys right now, even when there is a recession, and notice I said that even when there is a recession, because it's not technically a recession just yet, but even when there is a recession, China will still stand up. China will still make money. China was still making money during the Great Recession, during the Obama administration. Okay. So when it comes down from that scheme of things, this is why I stated it is about time that America had someone call these countries out. But I will say this, okay? Everybody has been getting a quote unquote free trade, okay? Everybody has been importing goods and just been doing it for free. And it has been at the United States expense. Okay, so something has to change. Something really has to change. And thank you guys for coming in. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Reading the comments. Thank you guys for coming in. Yes, Narendra says, shout out to politics. Shout out to Narendra. Aaron says, why are you getting upset? No, I'm not. I don't get upset. Please trust me. If I get upset, I won't even do a live. I don't come with that type of energy. I don't come with that type of energy where you're hearing me cursing people out, and no, that's just not how I move. But how I am, I'm just a very passionate person, especially when I speak on things that's going on here in the world. And last but not least, especially here, what's going on here in the United States of America. And I feel that a lot of people need to stick